Every screen you have ever stared into, every engine, every city light burning against the night. All of it, the Greeks said, began with a crime. Not a war, not a miracle, a theft. One immortal looked down at a shivering, short-lived species huddled in the dark and decided they were worth committing treason for. His name was Prometheus, and the king of the gods never forgave him. This is a story about power and who gets to have it. It is about a being who could see the future, who knew precisely what his choice would cost, and who made that choice anyway. And buried inside, it is a question the Greeks left smoldering for us, 27 centuries later. When the powerful decide what you are allowed to know, what does it cost to defy them? And who ends up paying the bill? He was never one of the Olympians. Prometheus was a titan, a son of Iapetus and the ocean nymph Clymene, born of the older order that Zeus tore down. His family paid for that war almost to the last man. His brother Atlas was condemned to hold up the sky forever. His brother Aeschylus was blasted into the dark. Two remained, and Hesiod pairs their names like a warning. Prometheus means forethought, the mind that sees consequences coming. His brother Prometheus means afterthought, the mind that understands only after the damage is done. Remember that, brother. He matters later. But there's an older, stranger claim about Prometheus. Some said he did not merely help humanity. He made it, shaping the first people out of clay and water with his own hands. Centuries later, the traveler Pausanias swore that in a town called Prometheus, you could still see the leftover clay, and that it smelled of human skin. If that is true, then nothing that follows is charity. It is a father refusing to abandon his children. The break with Zeus began not with fire, but with dinner. At a place called Mycone, gods and mortals gathered to settle a question that sounds almost bureaucratic. When an animal is sacrificed, which portion belongs to heaven? Prometheus did the carving, and he carved a trap. In one pile he hid the rich meat inside the ox's ugly stomach, so it looked like garbage. In the other he wrapped bare bones in thick, glistening fat, so it gleamed like a feast. Then he invited Zeus to choose. The king of the gods lifted the beautiful portion, peeled back the shining fat, and found bones. Hesiod never quite says whether Zeus was truly fooled or let himself be fooled to justify what came next. Either way, the outcome was permanent. From that day on, mortals kept the meat and burned only bones for the gods. And Zeus's revenge was surgical. He did not strike Prometheus. He struck the creatures Prometheus loved. He took away fire, condemning humanity to gnaw raw food in the cold and the dark. When a king is humiliated, it is rarely the trickster who suffers first. It is the people he tricked for. So Prometheus became a thief. He climbed to heaven and stole an ember of the eternal flame, smuggling it back down inside a hollow fennel stalk, a dry reed that burns slowly from within while looking like nothing at all. Think about the audacity of that. He carried stolen fire past the king of the universe, disguised as a walking stick. And here is the detail the myth insists on. He was not caught sneaking. Zeus saw the evidence from his throne, the far-shining fire suddenly blooming among men. Thousands of small orange lights spreading across the dark earth like a wound opening in his authority. Hesiod says the sight cut him to the heart, because fire was never just heat. Fire is metallurgy, cooked food, pottery, weapons, light after sunset, survival in winter. Fire is the first technology, the one that unlocks all the others. Prometheus had not handed humanity a gift. He had handed them a future, and everyone in heaven understood that a species with a future is a species that might one day stop kneeling. Zeus's counterstrike did not come as lightning. It came gift-wrapped. He ordered Hephaestus to mold a woman from earth, the first woman, beautiful as a goddess, and every Olympian contributed something to her: grace, charm, cunning, a treacherous nature. Hesiod calls her a beautiful evil. Her name was Pandora, and Zeus sent her not to Prometheus, who would have seen through her instantly, but to his brother, Prometheus. Afterthought, the one who understands only when it is too late. Prometheus had warned him in plain words, "Never accept a gift from Zeus, send it back." Epimetheus looked at Pandora and took the gift. With her came the jar, and out of the jar came sickness, toil, and sorrow, spilling into a world that had never known them. Only hope stayed behind under the lid. This is the cruelty the myth wants you to feel. Zeus did not defeat forethought. He simply routed his attack around it, through the vulnerable person standing next to him. The powerful rarely need to beat the one who defies them. They only need to find the loved one who is not paying attention. For Prometheus himself, Zeus designed something worse than death, because death was not available. The Titan was bound with unbreakable chains to a pillar at the edge of the world, and every day an eagle came down and ate his liver. Every night the immortal flesh grew back. Every morning the eagle returned, an eternity measured in the winged beats of an approaching bird. It is in this chained state that the playwright Aeschylus lets him finally speak, and what he claims is staggering. Fire was only the beginning. Numbers, writing, medicine, the reading of stars, the taming of animals, ships, prophecy, every art mortals possess, he says, came from him. And one gift stranger than all the rest. He stopped humans from foreseeing the hour of their own death. And in the empty space that knowledge left behind, he planted blind hope. Yet even nailed to the rock, Prometheus was not powerless. He knew a secret, the name of a sea goddess whose son was destined to overthrow his father. If Zeus married her, Zeus would fall. The eagle could take his liver every day until the end of time. It cannot take the name of Thetis out of his mouth. And still he was not finished protecting us. When Zeus decided the bronze race of mortals had grown too wicked to keep, he opened the sky and drowned the world. Prometheus, ever seeing ahead, had already moved. He warned his mortal son, Deucalion, to build a chest and stock it. And when the waters rose, Deucalion floated upon them with his wife Pra, who was the daughter of Epimetheus and Pandora. Notice what the myth has quietly done there. The son of forethought and the daughter of the so-called beautiful evil, together, are the whole future of the human race. When the flood receded, an oracle told them to throw the bones of their mother over their shoulders. They understood. Mother meant the earth, her bones were stones. Every stone Deucalion threw became a man, every stone Pyrrha threw became a woman, and humanity rose again, quite literally, from rock. Twice then, once with fire, once with warning. Whatever Prometheus was guilty of abandoning us was never it. How does it end? The ancients could not agree, and the disagreement is the interesting part. Hesiod says Heracles shot the eagle and freed Prometheus with Zeus's blessing, because the rescue added to his son's glory. Apollodorus adds a darker exchange. The wise centaur Cheiron, in endless agony from an incurable wound, surrendered his immortality so that Prometheus could go free, one deathless being buying another's release with his own eternity. But Aeschylus refuses the happy ending entirely. His Prometheus never breaks, never apologizes, and is hurled into the abyss of Tartarus, still shouting his defiance. His freedom only a prophecy on the wind. Maybe that is the honest version, because his story has never really ended. Every generation, someone drags knowledge out of a guarded place and hands it to people who were never supposed to have it, and every generation argues about whether that person is a hero or a criminal. The fire is in your pocket right now, and somewhere, someone is deciding what you should be allowed to do with it. Prometheus saw all of this coming. He knew the price. He knew the eagle was already circling, and he lit the flame anyway. The question he leaves chained to that rock is for you. What do you know is right, and what would you actually endure for it?